Welcome back to My Car Shop. Today we're going to be removing the cross member out of the rear of the 70 Challenger to make room for starting the frame repair on the passenger side of this car. So let's watch the intro and I'll see you in 30 seconds. Don't go away. You'll like this. I promise. You will.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
If you watched the last episode, we talked about the concerns that people have had about frame flex on this car. And I mentioned that it's just been really crazy for me the last couple of weeks. And I was really thinking about what I wanted to do today on this episode and was trying to find a bite-sized piece that I could do. I want to elaborate more on dealing with burnout in another video that I hope to get done yet this week because I am feeling pretty burned out right now, and it's not just because of the shop projects, it's just life overall. So I won't talk about that now, but I did want to mention to watch for that video. It'll probably be a tech tip dealing with burnout. How to. So anyway, we want to take that shock cross member out of here and get room underneath that car for putting the frame rail in on the driver's side now, or the passenger side. So I'm not sure right now if I'm going to just break it loose on the passenger side and drop it down. I'm not sure that's going to be possible because of the way it's attached to the frame on the other side. But if I could get a little bit of play in there and make some room, that may be the way we do it. So as per usual, I didn't really make a plan. I'm just winging it because that's the way I do things. So that's what we'll be doing today, and let's just get after it. Really, just get after it. So our primary concern is because this frame is rotted so far back in here, I don't have enough material to overlap in here to gain any strength. So I want to go further up in here, and I'm questioning how good this even is, although it feels pretty good. But when we start getting punky right around here where the bump stop is for the axle, so I'm wondering if I shouldn't be building this all the way up to here. From there down, it's not bad until we get down into here. So we would almost be making an entire frame rail on this side, I think. I haven't looked up there yet. Maybe some of this is still good. It, quite frankly, is tempting to just put this one in a hole, buy it. But because of you guys and because I like doing this so much, I'm going to take the challenge on and see what we can do here to make this work. I am tempted, I got to think about this a little bit. I am tempted to pull this entire frame rail out as a whole. It would be very simple to do that, and then just duplicate it and build one out of the car and then put it in. I gotta ponder that for a little bit, so let me get back to you on that one, eh? Gotta do a little more checking, but so far my determination here is it's good up to about here. It starts thinning out, probably about here on the other side. So I think I'm good to leave that front piece in. This piece in here is good. And then again from here back. So this is actually going to be a lot simpler than the driver's side, even though there's more of the frame that needs to be replaced. It's not as much compound curving, so I got to get my frame checker 2000, as Derek calls it, and just whack on this thing a little bit here for sure. But pretty convinced that this is okay in here. And I know some of you guys are saying replace the whole frame, but I'm not doing that. So if you're concerned about chassis stiffness, there's an episode on that where I discuss that, so go look for it. So I think yeah, this may actually not be too bad. I want to get my tape measure and find out from up in here. I think it's about 4 foot of frame rail, which I can't make all in one piece. But that's okay because there's that drop down in here, so I can make a short piece here where it comes down and then comes back up, so to speak. So I can make a piece from here to here and then from there to there, just very similar to what I did on the other side. I gotta get tape measure and measure this, so let's see what we got. Well, I think I'm actually in better shape than I expected. I measured this from here back, and I was thinking it was 4 feet. It's 36 inches, which is the limitation of my sheet metal brake. So I think I can make that in one piece, and then just over in here, slice that like I did before, to just make that like I did over there on that side where it comes down and up. So I'm half tempted to just make that piece of frame right now, but I want to think about that a little bit more. But that, yeah, I wouldn't say I was sweating it, but oh yeah, this is all punk in here anyway on this side. So I haven't looked this over. I just glanced at it. So now that I'm really getting serious about repairing it, I'm actually looking at this and seeing what things are like. So you're just discovering it with me. So again, just coming back here, putting some light on the subject. You can see how bad it is down in here. From here forward, it's good. In here, it's good. So that's just a small patch. Simple, easy peasy there. I can get a nice overlap on both and fix that. The floor doesn't have to come off that way. I may split the floor open to get inside that frame to clean it out. We'll see. Once I cut it out, it won't be that big a deal. And then again, cutting it right up in here. Where is it? Yeah, I'm actually about right here, so that I get some overlap. Let me double check that dimension again. Yeah, so we could bring that. I mean, obviously it's got a down here, but if I make a piece that's like this, and then I can union it together and get it in there and modify the end to work, I'll get a nice piece of overlap. So yeah, I think bear with me. Like I said, I'm thinking this through right now. This is the first I've really looked at it. So I want to share my, like I said, I want to share my thinking process and just how I'm coming to the conclusion of what I'm going to replace. So I do want to go ahead and buzz these off of here. And being as I'm not going to be saving any of this frame all the way from back up to here, I'm not going to be nearly as careful about getting that out of there. So I may just take the air chisel and just blow it out of there and be done with it. I'm not convinced that somebody didn't kind of bird crap weld that thing in there. So I need to take my plasma cutter and just cut off a piece of the frame down there to get that to break loose on this end, and then see if that gives me enough clearance to be able to just pull it down a little bit so I don't have to mess with it on the other side. I think I'll be able to. But before I can take the plasma cutter down there and do that, we have a big issue here that I want to show you. So let's go over here, get the light. And this is something to be cautious about when you're cutting up these box things. See that down in there? we have a mouse nest, which is probably why this frame rotted out on this side between the leaking rear window and a mouse nest. You can do the math, 2 + 2 = 6. Hold all that moisture in there and then just rot it out from the inside. So I got to get my air gun and blow that out before I start cutting, or we will have a little bonfire, and I prefer not to have one of those today. So, you know, just saying. All right, she's loose, and I think I have enough room to slide that frame rail out of there now. Sorry, I'm yelling. I got my headphones still on. Yeah, so everything's loose and plenty of space now. And so once the frame is out, I can dress up the end of this and get it ready to put back in. It's so, just to go through it, let me get in a better position. So up in there was one spot weld that I didn't see right away. So I just took the plasma cutter and cut that out. I don't think there was anything on this side, but somebody had run a bead weld over here. So I had to take and cut that. And then there was a bead weld running there for some reason, so I took the plasma cutter and cut that, but there wasn't one here. So my suspicion is, and I don't know this to be fact, but this doesn't appear like it was put in factory. I'm wondering if, because people wrote air shocks on this, maybe this cross member got whopped out and at some point in its history it was replaced. I could be wrong, but those welds just did not feel factory, which I think made it harder to get out, which kind of seals my fate on this side. I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I have enough clearance to slip it out and slip it in. Even if I was replacing an entire frame rail, I still think I could pull this down enough without doing any real damage over here. Obviously I'm moving things around, but I think I would be able to get one in there, but I'm not going to obviously mess with it. I'm good the way I am right now, and so good to go. Well, that was a good step forward on this project, that's for sure. Like I said, I'm pretty convinced that that was not all factory. If it looked like there was goober welds in there on the one side for sure, maybe on both sides, but I thought I would have just been able to blast that out of there. I didn't see the one spot weld straight up, but for guys that are removing these that don't know, and I didn't know, that's why I asked questions on a few episodes, it's the 2 tabs on the bottom are spot welded. There was 1 or 2, I think it was just 1 spot weld straight up. It was a pretty good size one. And I don't think originally they were welded up and down along that frame rail like that, but because it doesn't make sense. It's just a very small lip, and it was a whole, maybe they did, but it was a whole string weld on the front side of both. So inside the channel, in here it was welded, and then on the outside over here it was welded. Maybe that was factory, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like it to me, because the whole purpose of that really is not to offer structural integrity for the car, but it's simply to hold the shocks so that those are attached in there to the frame. And so the frame has a big tab that comes over where that attaches, where that spot welded in there. So they're really not in there by much. So again, reiterates my point from a couple episodes ago. Really, you shouldn't be using air shocks on cars like this. These shock mounts are just made out of sheet metal. They're really flimsy. You can see the way I'm bending that. Of course, the frame on the other side is doing this a little bit, partly because there's no floor pan in most of it, partly because it would anyway, because again, it's all sheet metal. So I'm very encouraged to see the whole frame is moving uniformly, so that's good. It's not much, I'm exaggerating by a lot, but I think maybe you saw it on the video. So that's free now, so that gives me the opportunity to snip that frame rail out of there and get ready to make the new one. But I think what I'll do, again, like I did on the other side, is make the new frame rail first in its entire 36-inch length. Do that slice in there so we get that little step in it. Of course, we'll have the flanges on the top, and that way I can just buzz that one out of there real quick, buzz the new one in, tack it all back in place, and we're good to go. I know now that I don't need to be as concerned about the car moving around as much, especially on this side. I was looking everything over, and I am quite surprised at how good a shape this fender well is. It's attached solid to the quarter panel yet. Everything down in that part of the car is rock solid, so I need to spend some time thinking. I was thinking I might pull this quarter panel off anyway and replace it, but I'm almost hating to at this point because the quarter panel extension, all of that is still good on this side. And for what this car is just a driver. Will it deteriorate down the road some? Yeah, I'm sure it will, but do I really want to go and spend another 30 or 40 hours taking all that apart, cleaning it up, putting it back together, or do I want to just do the best I can to clean it up, blow a crap ton of rust converter in there and say good enough? Not sure yet, don't know. Once I get a grinder on things, I may see that the answer is obvious. I'm sure if I took this quarter panel off, I would find that some of that inner wheelhouse structure is probably punky, and by the time I break it around, it's gonna come out. I'm thinking out loud here. I haven't thought this through. While my tendency is to say not to do it, there's another part of me that's saying, you know, for 150 bucks for another quarter panel, it might just be better to go ahead and just do it and be done with it. Don't know. So I got to ponder that, but I'm going to have some time to do that. Let me ponder what else I want to do here for a minute, and I'll be right back. Some of you have asked the question, because when you're watching this, I can hear everything you're saying. Why haven't you taken the shocks off of there yet? You keep banging your head on them. Well, I will, but I'm waiting to drill those access holes through because I know they're going to be miserable to get out of there. And I don't have a big enough drill bit right now to do it, but I'm going to put those, as I mentioned a few episodes ago, some holes through the trunk floor here so that I can just slip my impact gun in there with a wrench on the other side, because those bolts are rusty, and I know I'll spend a long time down there fighting to get them out of there. They've actually been kind of handy for moving stuff around, as you saw me today using it as kind of a lever. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. So I heard you asking. That's why I haven't done it. Second thing is, contrary to what has been said, some people said that the shock cross member was welded all across the top up there. It is not. I have just proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So that is misinformation if you've been told that. I'd seen that in several places when I was researching this on how it was mounted. John, I think you were the one that said it was just on the bottom and on the inside. You were right, obviously. And I didn't even think it was at the top. I couldn't see that weld until I started really pulling it down. So, you know, now that I've got a little more experience, if I was working on a nicer car and needed to replace that shock cross member, I would cut it out and then take small pieces out, drill things out and so forth, and put the new one in. You can buy a brand new one of those cross members still for $250, $300 maybe, something like that. Be right back. I'm gonna wait for that furnace to stop. So as I was waiting for that to stop, I decided to go ahead and look at that quarter panel more, and I think I'm already answering my own question. The bottom of the quarter over there, down here, is pretty punky, so I'm gonna have to be patching that anyway. Yeah, I can make that patch. But you can get a Sherman panel for 150 bucks right through my local auto parts. It supports local business, and I can carefully take that off of there, not destroying any of the inner parts, and then get in there and get everything really cleaned up well. So I think that makes the most sense, but obviously I'll get the frame rail in first before I do that. That's probably going to be one of the next steps on this car, is to get that frame rail bent up. and then get it ready to put in. So I've obviously got to go over and cut some sheet metal and that kind of stuff, but I'm out of time for today. I really appreciate you being here. The channel has just, again, taken off. We've been getting new subs every day. I'm really, really honored that you guys are here. I'm blown away that you're here. I know several of you have mentioned that you appreciate me answering questions. If there's specific questions that you have, please put them down there in the comments. That's part of what I want you to do. What I want to do is give you feedback. There's been several episodes that I've done specifically to answer your questions. And so, really it's giving you the content that you want, and that's what I'm here for. I view this as our channel, not just my channel. These are our projects, and I just happen to be the monkey that's doing the work here and footing the bill for it. But really, I do view all of this as a team effort, because as I said in the last episode, this is very symbiotic to me. Doing this work keeps me motivated to keep growing the channel, and growing the channel keeps me going to keep moving forward on the projects. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have accomplished as much as I have in the last year if it wasn't for doing the channel. It's easy for me to just get depressed or discouraged or whatever and just let stuff go. And then I get busy. This week has been busy. It's been more effort to get out here and do this. But in order to keep up with the schedule that I've established for myself, and of course to stick in the schedule now that the YouTube algorithm is getting used to what that production schedule is, I'm really working hard to make sure that I get those episodes out on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So you guys got one yesterday. You're going to have one Friday. And I got an idea for a quick one for Sunday as well that I think you'll like. It'll be a pseudo tech tip. I think I mentioned a little bit of that in the beginning. I won't spoil too much about that one yet, but just as a teaser instead. Definitely got some more stuff coming. Pretty excited to share with you some new acquisitions. And also we're going to be building that pipe anvil that I mentioned on the last episode. I think it was, maybe. Because I'm going to be needing that very soon. And that's a really handy tool that you can make for almost next to nothing. My buddy Chris that fixed the plasma cutter for me, he pulled a couple strings with some friends, and we got all of that pipe that we need for the pipe anvil for nothing. So it was, ask around if you have connections and people who work in different industries, if you need certain things, and you'd be surprised how people are willing to help out. So that's going to do it for this episode. I know it wasn't anything real sexy or exciting, but it was a big step forward, because I have been thinking about that shock cross member for a while and how I was going to deal with that. I was leaning towards pulling the whole cross member out, but I see absolutely no reason to now. We're good. I can get done what I want to do. I can get up above that a little bit and blow that rust conditioner up there so that we don't have problems with that material continuing to deteriorate. Again, we're building a driver. We're not building a show car, so it's going to be inside for the rest of its life. If we can just get the rust stopped, good enough. Excuse me. That's why I'm doing it this way. So check out some of the last episodes. I know the one I published Sunday, I think, was the yesterday, was worrying about the chassis stiffness on this car being as everything is hand built. The answer for that is there for you. A lot more exciting coming on this. Like I said, we've got a lot of work going on the Oakland. That car should be firing up soon. I'm this close to having everything I need to be able to finish putting the motor together and get a battery in that thing, and hopefully the starter works, and crank that baby over. I'm really excited about that. So that's cool, but that's one of those projects that I need to take my time and not be in a hurry, because I want to make sure that I don't overlook something. So I'm being very deliberate in taking my time, getting space from the project, coming back and seeing things with fresh eyes, and so forth. There's something else I was going to tell you too. Another episode coming soon on John's fender. We're going to do the finish work on that, and then stop on that and get that over to him so he can get it on the car. I know he's been working on it. I forget what he said he was doing lately, but I think he was still welding the quarter panel on. But so that car, he's planning to have that thing fired up soon. The motor's close. It's in, and he's got some wiring to do. That's what it was. So hopefully we can get you a video of listening to that thing run. It's got put it this way, he put the motor in and out of his old monster truck, so it's going to have a little bit of power. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Hit the bell for notifications. Like that video if you would. Make comments down there. Watch the rest of the channel. I think we're at 123, 124 episodes now, so way to go, guys. Thanks for keeping me going. If you are on Instagram or Facebook, /mycarshop. And as always, you know what it's going to be. Rock.